Welcome to another enlightening podcast from Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com, where we question everything.
Are we really living in a simulation? By the Be Awake, Aware, Alive team. Exploring the mind-bending hypothesis that our reality might be a computer program. It's a question that has moved from the fringes of science fiction to the center of philosophical and scientific debate. Are we living in a simulation? The idea has been popularized by films like The Matrix, but the underlying theory has gained surprising traction among serious thinkers, from tech billionaires funding research to philosophers publishing papers in prestigious journals. The simulation hypothesis suggests that everything we experience, the stars in the sky, the people we love, the thoughts in our heads, might be nothing more than an incredibly sophisticated computer program. But is there any substance to this idea, or is it just another technological age myth? The argument from probability. The most famous formal argument for the simulation hypothesis comes from philosopher Nick Bostrom, who laid out his case in a 2003 paper. His reasoning goes something like this. 1. If a civilization reaches a level of technological maturity where they can create realistic ancestor simulations, they almost certainly will. 2. If they do, they'll create many such simulations, perhaps billions. 3. If there are billions of simulated realities and only one base reality, the statistical likelihood that we are living in the base reality is incredibly small. Bostrom's trilemma concludes that at least one of three propositions must be true. Either humanity goes extinct before reaching technological maturity, we lose interest in creating simulations, or we are almost certainly living in a simulation. With no evidence for the first two, the third becomes disturbingly plausible. The digital evidence. Proponents of the simulation hypothesis point to several curious features of our universe that seem, to them, suspiciously computational. The pixelation of space-time. At the smaller scales, our universe appears to have a fundamental graininess, a resolution limit beyond which we cannot see. This bears a striking resemblance to the pixels on a computer screen. The speed of light. This universal speed limit functions much like a processing constraint, a cap on how fast information can travel across the cosmos. Quantum mechanics. The bizarre behavior of particles at the quantum level, particularly the way observation seems to affect outcomes, has led some to wonder if the universe is rendering itself only when we look at it, exactly as a computer game might render only what's in the player's view. Mathematical elegance. The fact that our universe is describable through elegant mathematical formulas could be interpreted as evidence of its artificial nature. These are the source code of existence. The counterarguments. Before we all start trying to find the glitches in our reality, it's worth considering the counterarguments. The most obvious objection is one of complexity. The computing power required to simulate an entire universe, including all the quantum interactions and conscious minds, is staggeringly beyond anything we can imagine, even with exponential technological growth. Furthermore, critics like physicist Sabine Hossenfelder argue that the simulation hypothesis isn't really a scientific theory because it doesn't make testable predictions. It's an interesting thought experiment, but it's ultimately unfalsifiable. We can't prove we are in a simulation any more than we can prove we are not. What would it mean for us? The implications of living in a simulation are profound, regardless of whether the hypothesis is true. If we are simulated, what does that mean for concepts like free will, morality, and the meaning of existence? Are we just entertainment for some higher beings? NPCs in someone else's game? Perhaps more unsettlingly, if we discover we are living in a simulation, would that change anything? The Canadian philosopher Preston Green has suggested that if we ever confirm we are in a simulation, the simulators might reset the simulation to prevent us from becoming aware of it, a cosmic game over. The final word. The beauty of the simulation hypothesis is that it forces us to confront some of the biggest questions about reality, consciousness, and our place in the universe. Whether it's true or not is almost beside the point. It pushes us to think more deeply about what we consider real and why. Perhaps Elon Musk was right when he said the odds we are living in base reality are 1 in billions. Or perhaps we are just pattern-seeking primates who have become so adept at creating our own virtual worlds that we've begun to project that ability onto the universe itself. The truth is, we may never know for certain. And maybe that uncertainty itself is what makes existence so fascinating. Whether it's real or just lines of code, we still have to live our lives, love our people, and find meaning in the moments we have. After all, if this is a simulation, it's the only reality we'll ever know. And that makes it real enough. Learn more at Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com.
Thanks for listening to another enlightening podcast from Be Awake, Aware, Alive.com, where we question everything.